2 days ago, Rockstar Games changed their Grand Theft Auto 6 website 3 separate times in a single day. And here's the part that made the entire internet lose its mind. They showed you absolutely nothing. No new trailer, no new screenshot, no new text, not one single pixel that any normal human being visiting that website could actually see with their own eyes. And yet within hours, that invisible non-event became the biggest story in gaming, exploding across Reddit, X, and every GTA channel on the planet. Because for the fans who have been starving for over a year, the fact that Rockstar changed something you cannot see is somehow more terrifying and more exciting than if they had changed something you can. This is a story about a change you were never meant to see, buried deep in the code of a website, and the small army of obsessives who dug it out and became convinced it means Trailer 3 is just days away. And I'm going to show you exactly what they found, the one specific technical detail hiding in that code that actually gives their theory teeth, and the damning precedent from just weeks ago that makes this almost impossible to dismiss. But I'm also going to tell you why they might be completely painfully wrong, because by the end of this video you will understand that Rockstar has done something no other company on earth can do. They have trained millions of people to treat a website update like a national emergency. Stay with me, because the timing of all of this lines up with a date that changes everything to understand why grown adults are currently dissecting website code like detectives at a crime scene. You have to understand the desperation because it has reached a genuinely unhinged level. It has now been roughly 15 months since Rockstar released the second trailer for Grand Theft Auto 6. 15 months. In that entire stretch of time, the biggest game in the history of the medium, a game launching this November, has given its audience almost nothing. The pre-orders that opened in June were digital only and, in the words of a huge chunk of the fan base, completely dry, so underwhelming that people are openly calling it the worst marketing campaign in gaming history. And when you starve an audience this large for this long, they do not calm down, they spiral. Fans have been reduced to hunting for meaning in anything, and I do mean anything at one point. A section of the community seriously pointed to an apparent increase in pizza deliveries to Rockstar's headquarters as evidence that the developers were crunching on something big behind closed doors. Pizza? That is the state of things. So when actual verifiable activity appeared on the official website for the first time in over a month, it did not just make the news, it detonated. And unlike the pizza, this one is not a joke, because what they found is real and it is specific. So let us get into exactly what changed, because this is where the theory stops being desperate and starts being genuinely interesting. The person at the center of this is a content creator and website tracker known as iGrandTheftAuto, who obsessively monitors the back end of Rockstar's site, the layer of code that runs underneath the pretty pictures you actually see. On July 29th, they reported that the Grand Theft Auto 6 website had been quietly updated 3 separate times within just a few hours. Now on the surface, the changes sound boring. Updated CSS, fresh JavaScript bundles, performance improvements, the kind of thing that would put you to sleep instantly. But hidden inside that boring list was the single detail that set everything on fire. Rockstar had added preloading for their 5 custom fonts, the exclusive typefaces built specifically for this game, with names like GTA Art Deco Bold and GTA Art Deco Condensed Heavy. And here's why that one word, preloading, matters so much. You do not preload fonts for no reason. Preloading a font is something a website does when it is about to display new text, and it wants that text to appear instantly and perfectly without an ugly flicker while the font loads in. In plain English, you prepare the fonts in advance when you're getting ready to show people something new. It is the digital equivalent of a stagehand quietly setting up the props behind a closed curtain. Minutes before the show begins, the audience sees nothing, but if you know where to look, you can tell the performance is about to start. That is the change you were never meant to see, and that is why the community lost its collective mind. But a single clue, no matter how juicy, is not a pattern. So here's the part that takes this from a fun theory to something you genuinely cannot ignore. And it comes down to what happened just weeks ago, when iGrandTheftAuto was asked whether they had ever spotted this kind of sudden, out-of-nowhere backend activity before. The answer was chilling. The last time they detected an unexplained change like this was on June 17th, and what happened on June 18th, the very next day? Rockstar dropped the official cover art for Grand Theft Auto 6 and announced that pre-orders were open. One invisible change in the code. One day later, a massive public reveal. That is the precedent hanging over this entire situation. The exact same fingerprint. An unexplained backend update with no visible changes appeared right before the last big announcement, and now it has appeared again. iGrandTheftAuto was careful and honest, calling it definitely unusual, while warning there were no guarantees. But they also said the words that everyone latched onto. Rockstar is definitely working on something, and the timing could not possibly be more suspicious, because this is not happening in a vacuum. The respected insider NateTheHate, who has accurately predicted Rockstar announcements in the past, recently said he expects to see a fair bit of Grand Theft Auto 6 in August, not next year, this month. On top of that, Take-Two, Rockstar's parent company, has its next big investor earnings call on August 7th, and Rockstar has a long documented history of timing its biggest bombshells to land right around those investor calls to send the hype and the stock soaring. And remember, the CEO himself, Strauss Zelnick, promised that the largest marketing campaign in the company's history would begin this summer. Stack it all together, the font preloading, the June precedent, the insider pointing at August, the earnings call on the 7th, the CEO's own promise, every single arrow is pointing at the same narrow window, and it is closing fast. Now, before you go and set up a tent outside Rockstar's website, I have to be the voice of reason, because there is a very real chance that all of this is a beautiful, elaborate nothing, and you deserve to hear that side too. Here is the cold truth. Fonts get preloaded for boring, ordinary reasons all the time. Websites get performance tune-ups constantly with zero connection to any announcement. Even some level-headed voices within the community were quick to say, and I'm paraphrasing, do not turn a few font files into a Trailer 3 confirmation. The tracker themselves flagged that no new content was actually found on the page. So it is entirely possible that a developer at Rockstar simply cleaned up some code on a Tuesday, went home, and has no idea they just sent 100,000 people into a frenzy. And this is where the story gets almost philosophical, because you have to zoom out and look at what is really happening here. We have reached a point where the most obsessive fan base on the planet is now performing digital archaeology, sifting through raw source code, CSS files, and font names, treating them like ancient scrolls that predict the future. Some fans have gone even deeper down the rabbit hole, zooming in on the watch on Jason's wrist in the trailers, reading the time as 11:08, and using it to predict a November 8th reveal because the first trailer was announced on November 8th years ago. That is not analysis anymore. That is numerology. That is reading tea leaves. And the fact that a font file can become global breaking news tells you something far bigger than any release date ever could, because here's the real reframe, the thing this entire saga is actually about. Rockstar Games has achieved something no other entertainment company on earth has ever managed. They have built an audience so devoted, so desperate, and so enormous that they can move the entire internet without showing a single frame of footage. They can send shockwaves through the global gaming world with an invisible line of code. They did not release a trailer. They did not release a screenshot. They preloaded some fonts and it made headlines on every major gaming outlet in the world. That is not an accident. Whether the developers intended it or not, this is the most valuable marketing weapon in the industry. An audience that hangs on the studio's silence as hard as its announcements. So is Trailer 3 actually coming in the next few days? Maybe the evidence, the font preloading, the June precedent, the insider chatter, and that August 7th earnings call genuinely lines up better than it has at any point in the last 15 months. But maybe it is just a website tune-up, and the wait drags on a little longer while the theories pile higher. Either way, the truth is inescapable. Rockstar is quietly, deliberately setting the stage, and every invisible move they make is being watched by more people than most companies could ever dream of reaching with a full-blown ad campaign. The curtain has not gone up yet, but somebody just walked out to set the props. If you want the full breakdown of exactly when I think Trailer 3 drops, and the other hidden signals pointing straight at that August earnings call, watch the video on your screen right now. And subscribe, because the second Rockstar makes a move, visible or not, we are going to catch it and break it down first, right here.